What if I told you that some battlefields don't just preserve history, they trap it? Welcome to Gettysburg, a supernatural ground zero where the past isn't just remembered, it's screaming to be heard. Let's get real for a moment. The Battle of Gettysburg wasn't just a military engagement, it was a human catastrophe of enormous proportions. From July 1st to 3rd, 1863, this tiny Pennsylvania town became the center of human suffering. Over 50,000 men killed, wounded, or disappeared in just 72 hours. To put that into perspective, that's like wiping out the entire population of a medium-sized city in 3 days. What if I told you that rocks could literally record human emotion? That the ground beneath our feet isn't just dirt and stone, but a massive prehistoric memory recording device? Let's get scientific for a moment. The stone tape theory suggests that intense emotional experiences, especially traumatic ones, can be physically imprinted into the geological environment. Think of rocks like nature's ultimate recording device. Quartz, granite, limestone, these aren't just rocks. They're potential memory banks of human experience. Paranormal researchers believe that certain geological formations act like biological hard drives. The minerals in rocks, particularly quartz, have a unique crystalline structure that can potentially capture and replay electromagnetic energy from intense emotional events. In other words, the rocks of Gettysburg might be holding on to every moment of terror, every last breath, every unfinished prayer from the bloodiest battle in American history. Believe me, if any place could create a supernatural geological recording, it's Gettysburg. Aside from the haunted battlefield and locations where so many men lost their lives, the town and area around Gettysburg also holds many tales of hauntings. Too many to include in this video. Let's start with a story that'll make your blood run cold. The tale of Jennie Wade, the battle's most heartbreaking and only civilian casualty. July 3rd, 1863. While armies clashed and the world burned around her, 20-year-old Jennie was doing something impossibly ordinary, baking bread. Her hands covered in flour, she worked in her sister Georgia McClellan's kitchen, completely unaware she was about to become a footnote in the most brutal battle of the Civil War. In one too brief moment, a Confederate bullet, no wider than a finger, pierced the wooden door. It struck Jennie, instantly killing her before she could even understand what was happening. Her mother, in a scene that would haunt generations, was forced to drag her daughter's body to the basement, desperately trying to shield her from the ongoing battle happening outside. Today, the Jennie Wade House isn't just a museum, it's a bridge to an unresolved tragedy. Visitors report encounters that defy explanation, doors that open and close with no human touch, whispers that sound like a young woman's soft voice, cold spots that appear and vanish like spiritual breath, a protective presence that feels both sorrowful and watchful. Some say Jennie's spirit remains, forever tied to that moment of unexpected violence, forever baking bread in an eternal ghostly kitchen. Next on the tour of Gettysburg is Devil's Den. The origin of the name Devil's Den predates the Civil War. Some say it was named after a massive snake, nicknamed the Devil, that was reportedly impossible to catch. Others believe the area's ominous rock formations and dense foliage contributed to its devilish reputation. Devil's Den became a key site of intense fighting on the second day of the battle. Confederate forces attacked Union soldiers who were positioned among the boulders. The chaotic terrain turned the area into a slaughter pen as soldiers engaged in brutal close-quarters combat. The rocky formations provided cover for sharpshooters, leading to heavy casualties. Bodies were reportedly left unburied for days, and some were even thrown into the deep crevices between the rocks. Why is Devil's Den haunted? Massive loss of life. The site witnessed hundreds of violent deaths, leaving behind an emotional and spiritual imprint. Ancient history. Some legends suggest that Devil's Den was haunted even before the Civil War. Native American folklore mentions a great battle dubbed the Battle of the Crows, occurring near the site. Stone tape theory. Paranormal researchers believe that the area's quartz and granite rocks may record the energy of the past, replaying it as ghostly phenomena. Reported paranormal activity in Devil's Den includes the following: ghostly apparitions, A disheveled, barefoot man in ragged clothing, often thought to be a Confederate soldier, is seen wandering the rocks. He sometimes tells visitors, "What you're looking for is over there," before vanishing. Spectral soldiers have been spotted moving through the boulders or standing motionless, watching visitors. Strange sounds. Visitors report hearing phantom gunfire, cannon blasts, and shouts of soldiers, despite the area being quiet and empty. Mysterious whispers and faint cries for help have been heard among the rocks. Malfunctioning electronics. Many claim that cameras, phones, and other electronic devices fail to function properly at Devil's Den. Images may appear distorted or devices may stop working altogether. 4. Shadowy figures. Shadowy forms have been seen darting between the boulders, often vanishing when approached. Devil's Den today. The site is part of the Gettysburg National Military Park and attracts thousands of visitors annually. While it offers stunning views and historical insight, many come seeking an encounter with the supernatural. Devil's Den encapsulates the harrowing blend of history and haunting that defines Gettysburg. Whether you're a history buff or a ghost hunter, visiting Devil's Den provides an unforgettable, chilling experience. The sacks-covered bridge might look like a picturesque piece of Civil War-era Americana. Don't be fooled. This isn't just a bridge, it's a portal to one of Gettysburg's darkest, most brutal stories. Built in 1854, this wooden structure became a critical crossing point during the battle's chaotic Confederate retreat. But here's where things get truly dark. Local legend speaks of 3 Confederate deserters who paid the ultimate price for their perceived cowardice. According to haunting tales that have been whispered for generations, these men were captured and hanged directly from the bridge's weathered beams. Their final punishment, a brutal public display of military justice. Reported paranormal activity includes ghostly apparitions. Visitors have reported seeing shadowy figures and full-bodied apparitions on or near the bridge, believed to be the spirits of soldiers or the hanged deserters. Disembodied voices. Whispering, faint conversations, and the sound of distant marching can often be heard, even when the bridge is empty. Unexplained smells. People have described the sudden and strong odor of gunpowder or rotting flesh, believed to be phantom reminders of the Civil War. Temperature drops. Visitors frequently experience cold spots even on warm days, as if unseen entities are passing by. Orbs and unusual photographs. Many paranormal investigators report capturing strange orbs of light, misty shapes, and other unexplained phenomena in their photos taken at the bridge. Touching and tugging. Some people claim to feel invisible hands touching or tugging at their clothes as they walk across the bridge. Gettysburg offers a wealth of intriguing sights for history buffs and paranormal enthusiasts, but the sacks-covered bridge stands out as an extraordinary testament to the past. Its weathered timbers tell a haunting tale that transcends mere architectural beauty. Spanning nearly 2 centuries, this historic bridge serves as a chilling memorial to the Civil War era, witnessing the march of brave soldiers during the Battle of Gettysburg and preserving the echoes of a tumultuous time. The Daniel Lady Farm has a rich and haunting history, deeply intertwined with the Battle of Gettysburg. During the battle, the farm played a crucial role as a Confederate field hospital, particularly for troops from General John B. Gordon's brigade during the battle's second day and aftermath. The farm was owned by Daniel Lady at the time of the battle in July 1863 and was located on the northeast side of the battlefield. It was strategically positioned near the Confederate lines. The barn and farmhouse were used extensively to treat wounded Confederate soldiers, and many soldiers died within the farm's buildings, creating a somber and tragic history. The farm is considered one of the most actively haunted locations in the Gettysburg area. Visitors and investigators have reported hearing distant moans and cries of men in pain, reminiscent of Civil War-era medical treatments. These auditory experiences are often most intense in the barn and near the original hospital areas. There have been multiple accounts that describe seeing spectral Civil War soldiers in the farm's buildings. Some witnesses report seeing wounded soldiers lying where medical treatments would have occurred. Ghostly figures in both Confederate and Union uniforms have been reportedly spotted. Other unexplained physical phenomena, such as temperature drops, unexplained movement of objects, and electronic equipment malfunctioning or capturing unusual electromagnetic readings. The farm's tragic history of death and suffering seems to have left a profound spiritual imprint. The massive loss of life during medical treatments, the pain of wounded soldiers, and the farm's role in one of the Civil War's most significant battles contribute to its reputation as a paranormal hotspot. Today, the Adams County Historical Society preserves the farm, allowing visitors to explore its historical significance and potentially experience its supernatural reputation. Ghost tours and paranormal investigations are often conducted at the site, drawing those interested in both Civil War history and supernatural phenomena. Our final destination might be the most heart-wrenching of all, the Soldiers' Orphanage Cellar. Here, the ghost of Rosa Carmichael represents a horror that transcends battlefield violence. Rosa Carmichael was accused of subjecting orphaned children to severe punishment during her time at the orphanage. According to stories, she would confine misbehaving children in the dark, damp cellar, chaining them to the walls or locking them in small cages. Some tales claim that children were whipped or left in isolation for days. Visitors to the cellar have reported feeling an oppressive presence, believed to be Rosa herself. Some describe seeing a shadowy female figure lingering in the corners of the room, watching silently. Others have heard her stern, disembodied voice scolding unseen children. One particularly harrowing story comes from a ghost tour participant who felt a sudden, icy grip on their arm as they passed by an old chain still hanging on the wall. The individual later reported hearing faint whispers, seemingly in a child's voice, pleading, "Please don't leave me here." In contrast to the menacing figure of Rosa, visitors have also reported encounters with the spirits of children in the cellar. These include sounds of crying or faint sobbing, often accompanied by the sound of chains rattling. Or sometimes ghost hunters claim to have witnessed small handprints appearing on dusty surfaces or heard giggles, as if the children are attempting to interact with the living. Many believe that Rosa's cruel actions left an emotional scar on the building, tethering her and the children's spirits to the site. The combination of residual energy from the trauma and the intelligent hauntings of those who endured it create the eerie atmosphere for which the cellar is known. Skeptics will dismiss these paranormal stories as fiction and a way to increase tourism and sales. But those who've walked these grounds know the truth. Gettysburg isn't just a historical site. It's a supernatural crossroads where the past refuses to be silent. Have you ever experienced something unexplainable at a historical site? Drop your most spine-tingling paranormal encounter in the comments. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's continue exploring the mysterious places around the world that are haunted with history.